Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cito Beltran. Welcome to the program Agenda. You are watching us via Signal TV channels 8 or 250 for high definition, as well as facebook.com/OneNewsPH and on YouTube, One News PH. It's September 6, 2020, and it's a Tuesday. And today is going to be a day of review finding out what's happened to our first day of school for our 24 million students. We're going to find out, did things go relatively well, or what were the challenges? And aside from that, I found out also for the update and the review, we will be interviewing Undersecretary Annalyn Sevilla of the Department of Education. And then after that, we will speak with Rodolfo Ordanes. He's a senior citizen advocate and presumed or expected to become the second nominee for senior citizen party list after the untimely demise of its initial representative, because it's Senior Citizen Week, if I'm not mistaken, and let's find out what's happening in the area of advocacy for senior citizen. Makakalaya na ba kayo? Kayo ba'y patuloy na i-detain sa inyong mga tahanan? We'll find out. And last but not the least, and to the chagrin of some people, medyo yung ilang member ng staff ko na kine-question. They're challenging why we have invited Beatrix Mercado, registered nutritionist-dietitian, founder of Project Fit PH, kasi medyo may pagsusuri, may pag-aaral. There's a research that recently came out that 2 out of every 5 Filipinos who underwent quarantine, lockdown, gained weight or have actually become obese. Nagtaka pa kayo. Yun po yung masakit na katotohanan ng mga marami sa inyo, kasi nagkamali kayo eh. Kinwarantine nyo yung sarili ninyo, nilockdown ninyo yung sarili nyo. Ang dapat ni-lockdown nyo yung mga refrigerator ninyo at yung mga pantry ninyo, at dapat binawal. Dapat ang hininga ng authority yung paggamit ng inyong mga credit card para sa pagpapa-order ng pagkain galing sa Shopee, Lazada, and Grab Food Deliver. In any case, let's move on to today's program. So those will be our guests. We will speak with Usec Annalyn Sevilla, DepEd, Rodolfo Ordanes, Senior Citizen Party List, and Beatrix Mercado, registered nutritionist-dietitian. And for the news, let's go to the stories from the front page of the Philippine Star. Education Secretary Leonor Briones declared that yesterday's opening of classes is a victory over COVID-19. While President Rodrigo Duterte says this ushers in a new era in basic education. The school year had been postponed twice due to the pandemic from June 1 to August 24 before moving it finally to October 5. However, there have been problems that hounded families day one of distance learning, such as internet connectivity. We will speak with DepEd Undersecretary Sevilla in a few moments to discuss how the first day of school went and what wins are and what are the areas for improvement. The Philippine National Police also seeks to make its contribution to make distance learning work. As Chief Camilo Cascolan said, that he has directed his officers to work with barangay officials in making villages conducive for remote learning. Cascolan said they are asking barangays to pass ordinances regulating the use of noisy equipment, especially during class hours. The PNP is also setting up an assistance desk in every barangay to provide help to the locals. Chief PNP Kaskulan, komentary ko lang po dito, no? Mawalang galang na. It might be a better idea if you actually got into the teaching model, meaning if you actually got your regional officers and police officers to become tutors. Kasi marami pong mga lugar, kulang na kulang ang tao. Number one, to deliver necessary modules and tablets, etc. Number two, kulang ang mga guro, maraming magulang, walang kakayanan. Karamihan ng iyong mga pulis ay mga college graduate na. I think that's the current requirement now that PNP candidates should be college degree holders. So, rather than come up with this request to barangay na walang maingay na equipment, baka magkagulo lang dyan Kasi baka merong asar lang doon sa manukan, asar doon sa construction site, or whatever. The intention is good. But if the PNP wants connection to be in the community, might be better if you guys are tutors. Find a way, kahit na distance tutorial. Pwede namang malayo dun sa lugar, o kaya mag-online, whatever. Find a way because you have a lot of officers who can teach. Yan pong mga using the barangay. Nako, ang dami ng problema ng barangay captain. Dadagdagan pa ninyo. In any case, nice try, but you can do better. Now, let's go to the House of Representatives as they prepare for the looming speakership vote on the 14th of October. Some congressmen are calling for physical presence in the chamber instead of doing a teleconference meeting. Negros Oriental Congressman Arnie Teves Jr. said some of them were muted during the voting after Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano offered to resign. Buhay Party List Congressman Lito Atienza also made the same claim when we interviewed him on Agenda. Atienza also said that incoming Speaker Lord Alan Velasco has also gathered at least 160 congressmen to their side. Nako po, umasa pa kayo, Congressman Teves. Gagamitin sa inyo yung social distancing, at saka no mass gathering. Pwede ba naman yon? Yung Catholic Church, bawal magpapasok ng more than 10%. Yung casino, pwedeng 30 to 40%. Yung factory, pwede nang mag 100%. Yung iba, pero dyan sa Congress, nako, mamuti mata mo kung pumayag silang magkaroon dyan ng physical voting. In any case, Task Force PhilHealth intends to file additional complaints against the erring officials of PhilHealth in the coming days. Justice Chief Menardo Guevara, the head of the task force, also said that the Senate and House can also file separate complaints. Considering to go to the Ombudsman to bring charges against Health Secretary Francisco Duque III. Duque is the chairman of the PhilHealth's Board of Directors. But just last night, President Duterte once again stood with Duque, saying that the secretary is not guilty of any wrongdoing. Alam niyo po, mga kaibigan, yung comment yan ni Justice DOJ Chief Menardo Guevara, ni Secretary Guevara, na pwede namang mag-file ng complaint o ng kaso yung mga senador at pati na yung congressman, matagal na po namin sinasabi yan. Alam nyo, si Senator Ping Lacson, Panfilo Ping Lacson, magaling po sa investigasyon. Siyempre, veteran police officer, and he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job in investigating this. Kanya lang, lagi pong bitin Kasi yung Senate, lagi na lang investigate, lagi na lang meron silang conclusion of guilt, graft, corruption, etc., wrongdoing, pero lagi na lang pass the ball. paminsan-minsan, Senator Ping, sumute ka naman. Kumbaga na tuluyan mo naman para kumbaga na complete picture. Complete stop work, complete action din. Okay. Now, let's go to the issue or to our review of the first day of the what you might call it, first day of classes for our students. Total of 24.7 million students enrolled. Almost 400,000 migrated from public ba ito? Private to public from what I understand. And then may sinabi po si Secretary Leonor Briones na gusto ko. Sabi niya, araw-araw may bagong krisis, problema at pagkukulang. Paghihintayin ba namin kayo mag-aral? More than 24 million of you, kailangang ipagpatuloy ang pag-aaral, kailangang igapang maski maraming challenges. Bravo! I love the word, kailangang igapang. Alam niyo po, diyan tayo magaling eh. Kumbaga, pag hinaharap ang pagsubok, igapang mo, kaya mo yan. Okay, let's find out from the DepEd representative, Undersecretary Annalyn Sevilla, what happened during the first day of classes. Usec, Ann, good morning to you. Looking lovely today.
Good morning, Sir Cito, and to the viewers of the show right now, News One. It went well. For a big picture, we can say it went well. Why? Because it's a historic event yesterday. It was the first time that we opened schools, and I was personally in one of the schools here in Pasig, but you won't see any learners. There are no teachers. So
Okay.
this is actually new for, well, every time there's a school opening, the usual problems will be lack of classrooms, lack of teachers, children crying because they don't want to go inside the school. So those scenes are not existing yesterday. It's quite peaceful, but as Secretary said, it's not as easy as that. Opening the school in a pandemic like this is actually difficult. And you're right, Sir Cito, when Secretary said gumagapang kami, that's true. And the event that happened yesterday is actually one of the little successes that the Secretary said. I think it's only the Department of Education who are really able to push through with this operation. And sabi nga ni Secretary, we cannot let education wait. The learning resources have been distributed ahead. But of course, there are some that are still saying na they are yet to receive it. But ito po ay contextualized kasi, or meaning iba-ibang situation in each locality. The orientation to the parents as well. This is a new thing to us, Sir Cito. We did that when August 24 tayo dapat mag-open and it was moved to October 5. Actually, it gave time for us to also engage with our stakeholders. So particularly our parents and the guardians. At dito po sa school opening that happened yesterday, I think sila ang mas na-stress, Sir Cito. I think sila yung mas nagkaroon ng anxiety on how are we going to do this. Like they're not sending their kids to school anymore. Yesterday as well, ang ating mga undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, and directors were spread throughout the country. My assignment here is in NCR because I handle finance, so I cannot be too far from the kitchen.
Walang paperman ng cheque.
That's right. So alam niyo na po, pag finance ang hawak, hindi pwedeng lalayo. So I handled NCR, and meron din po kami mga programs na minonitor, but kasama ng programs ay problems and challenges. And I know we will talk about that later, but as a whole, we are able to open the school amid COVID-19, and that's why Secretary said it's a victory for us. Not literally, solving COVID-19, but figuratively, meaning it didn't stop us from pushing through the learning continuity plan. At ito po ay through the governance and contextualization of the program.
Okay, I suppose to sum it all up, in spite of overwhelming challenges, overwhelming infrastructure deficits, as well as great fear, the DepEd was able to push through and show that it can be done and it should be done. Now, here's the question. What were your discoveries, or what was the discoveries of the Department of Education as a whole in terms of this new way of basic education?
Yeah, yesterday was only just a chapter of the entire book. So it's
Hmm.
just the first chapter, and more to come. Actually, the climax is yet to be seen, as we can speak of, and then that is the task at hand right now. The learning process is the main issue because some of our stakeholders are still thinking na online lang ang available. So Sir Cito, hindi.
Mhm.
Online is one of the options, one of the choices, but we call this blended learning approach, meaning if you are able, or your location, especially internet connection, and gadget, so the capacity of both the school and the learner is present, then go ahead. Yan actually ang ideal online.
Mhm.
But most of our learners, the parents and the guardians as well, chose to have the modular approach, and this is about 80% of our population. But modular approach is actually expensive because
Mhm.
we do not have the capacity to really produce the modules for 24 million students, and given only about 3 to 4 months to prepare, including the development of the modules. So COVID came in March. We were
Mhm.
able to develop this modality of blended approach in April, approved in May. So June, July, August, kasama na dyan ang development, orientation, preparation, and our opening in October. So, and especially, I mean, finance, no? Budget was approved on a face-to-face interaction. So wala ho
Mhm.
kami pera, resources to do that. So these are the challenges. But really, ngayon na
Yeah.
nagsisimula na ang schooling, yung yung parents, people who are with the learners, they
Mhm.
have to also understand the system. And
Okay.
this is the partnership that we're talking about.
Okay, Yusek Ann, sinabi mo nga kung bibiglain walang budget. But from the impression I got listening to all the undersecretaries who have been interviewed in the past so many months, the
Yeah,
impression I had was this will be in batches, tranches, in kumbaga parang sa libro, o sige, ipiprint muna namin yung first 3 chapters,
that's
pagkatapos
right.
ipiprint namin yung ibang chapter. Now, the question is, meron bang galaw in Congress, Malacanang, the department, to make sure that the Department of Education is given funding? Kasi alam mo, yung DSWD, binigyan natin ng bilyong-bilyong piso for the SAP. Aba, the DepEd is going to be taking care of 24 million students. Hindi pwedeng hindi bigyan ng special funding ang DepEd.
Yeah, that's right, Sir Cito. Actually, we did some realignment already. We did
Mm.
some prioritization already. And for 2021, DBM has already accommodated our request, but it's not the ideal scenario because when we speak of the ideal scenario, marami po diyang factors. For
Mhm.
example, 1:1 materials, 1:1 also of the gadget, if that is the ideal, but and
Mm.
then the requirement is really big. And as you're part of the government, we do understand that resources are limited and priorities are also different, no? Policies. So, like for example, health, we have COVID-19. So we do understand that health would also need some of the funding. So we got a portion, we got parts of our request, but not the whole. And
But
that's
how
the reason
far
why we are adjusting.
Yeah, Yusek Ann, how far are we from the ideal? Because kung ako lang ang masasagot ay masusunod, I will insist that the students get the best or get ideal. Kasi mga bata yan. Yeah, that's our future. Patay na tayong lahat. Sila yung magpapatakbo ng bansa. Pero kung titipirin natin sila ngayon, and this is no, I'm not arguing with you. I'm behind the DepEd here. How far are we from the ideal in terms of budget? Kasi naintindihan ko yung nag-realign kayo, nilipat ninyo doon sa hindi kailangan. Pero hindi magkakasya yan because you never did anything like this before.
That's right. Yeah, ang ideal requirement will be about 400 billion. If we
Mm,
will give all the laptops to the teachers, we'll have a good internet connection to the
mm,
all of the schools. So 100 billion nga nag-adjust na kami. We call it conservative scenario. But the actual is 65 billion lang ang meron tayo. So that's how far we are from 400. We're at 65 billion at the moment. And we are requesting for next year, kasi nga sabi natin when we propose, let's really give what we really need. And that's what you actually said. We requested for about 1 trillion pesos next year, and
mm,
we got 605 billion. So that's how far we are from the ideal requirement. And
mm.
yun nga, as we said, because of the limitation of the resources.
Yeah, but this will be in tranches in any case. So magagawan pa rin ang paraan, I think by Malacanang, DepEd, and IATF to meet that. Because, I mean, I'm sorry, that's not subject to discussion. The children's need, the children's education. I mean, ang daming Pilipinong nag-OFW, nagpakahirap para mabigyan ng mga anak ng
Mag-aral.
magandang
Yeah.
pag-aaral. And now, sasabihin natin sa mga bata, tiis muna kayo kasi walang pera. I mean, that would be so irresponsible of us adults not to be sacrificial about this.
Well, we also have to understand the capacity to also implement. No,
Mm,
so even if we are requesting for so much, the question is, can we implement within a year? For example, may mga procurement dependent dyan. The supply
mm,
side as well. If we will really have that ideal scenario, ba magkakaroon po ng shortage in the equipment, for example, 24 million laptops, and as well as yung implementation nito and the capacity. We have about 860,000 teachers, and
mm.
kung babaguhin natin ang sistema from the face-to-face to digital education kaagad, ibig sabihin online na kaagad. Marami rin sa mga teachers natin, I think, will also cry out and say, well, we also need training first or orientation.
Okay,
So the thing is, we have to do it gradually.
I
Siguro one
agree.
step at a time. Yes.
That's a very valid point. But my question is, do we actually have a plan that we are going to follow? Kasi iba yung nagkwekwentuhan tayong dalawa dito, iba yung merong, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the plan, this is the strategy, this is how we are going to do the plan in how many months or how many years. Kasi
Yes.
pasensya ka na, talagang alam mo naman ako, supporter ako ng DepEd. Pag
Thank you very much. And we know that.
pag puro teka-teka ibibigay sa atin ng mga
Yeah.
namumuno dyan sa Congress, nako, basag ulo mangyayari. In any case, do we have a plan and a
Yes.
timetable?
Yes. We have the education reform program plan.
Mhm.
And we have it in 5, 10, and 20 years as well. The 5-year plan is used in our financial plan. We call it forward estimates, so that
Okay.
we can have an assurance that at least a portion of our plan is included in the budget. And we have been coordinating with NEDA, DBM, and the other national agencies like DOF as well. And syempre may backing tayo ng ating mga international partners
Okay. So
dito.
you have a 5-year plan. In the
Mhm.
5 years, will we be able to achieve the 24 million laptops or tablets for the students and laptops for all the teachers? Kasi parang pag inaaral ko ito 5 years, medyo mahaba-habang panahon na yun, dapat may mangyari na.
Yes, the 5-year plan actually has that vision that
Mm,
after 5 years, we can already go to the online platform.
yeah.
That's with the help of other government agencies as well. For example, the telecoms, the ICT, the PCOO. So,
Mm,
tama po kayo, in 5 years' time, we envision na at least meron tayong good communication channels,
mhm.
meron ding infrastructure na magsusupport ng ating digital education. We have this, we call it the future school
Bingo.
plan. Yes,
Bingo. Yeah, I was going to go into that. Kasi itong Futures School Plan or Futures Education Program ninyo, at the time when I think I've met you before, parang ano pa lang yan, prototype pa lang, parang
correct.
experimental, which is about what? 6 months ago, 7 months ago,
But I
biglang,
have some good news.
sandali,
Yeah,
biglang ngayon, wala na experimental experience. This is now the reality.
yeah, that's
What,
what I'm about to say.
oh,
That's what I'm about to say. From concept, no, hindi na
oh,
tayo nag-pilot testing. It's really here. And we're pushed to
exactly.
really implement it. But the good
Mm,
thing is, in 2020, it's the first time that we had a budget for futures thinking
okay.
unit in the department. And that is with the support of Senator Pia Cayetano. So she
Okay.
gave us this unit. It's called Futures Thinking Unit. And
Mm-hmm.
also with Congress in the lower house, napasa na po yung Future School Law. So with
Mm-hmm.
that ay nagkaroon din tayo ng backing, no, ng talagang we really have to change the way we do schooling right now. At
Well,
dito sa future schooling na bill ay
yeah.
nakapasok na dito yung mga infrastructure and of course yung pati yung mga soft components ng future schools.
Okay, ikaw ay you are head of finance and I'm sure inaaral mo lagi alin ba ang pwedeng bawasan, alin ang pwedeng dagdagan, etc. I'm of the thinking na siguro pwede na natin bawasan yang walang katapusang pagpapagawa ng school na laging nalulugi yung DepEd. Kasi hindi naman kayo ang gumagawa eh. Kayo ang nagbabayad, hindi kayo ang gumagawa. Pag may bumabagyo, tumbahan ng tumbahan, liparan ng liparan. Eh with this new development, sabi ko, baka mas magandang ilagay ng DepEd yung pera dito sa futures thinking plan or program. Wala na masyadong mga schoolroom maintenance, etc. Yung mga bata, mas mababantayan ng magulang, etc. Is there any direction plan to go towards that na yung infrastructure na sinasabi mo would be more digitally inclined than it would be physical in concept?
It actually happened this year, Sir Cito, in 2020. In
Finally.
2025 billion pesos of our infrastructure was given to Bayanihan Law. And that's because of the shift. And then gradually, right now in 2021, we have a decrease in our infrastructure program.
Mm.
And that's on October 8th, we have a plenary hearing for our 2021 budget. And I think one of the discussion points or the part of the deliberation table is the budget for the school building program.
Mhm.
So for next year, we have at least about 12
Eh,
billion pa rin in the budget. And
oh.
we're saying na, of course, we have other things to prioritize. But, you know, may politics then in the budget. And
Mhm.
it's not just DepEd, it's not just the executive that
Mm.
approves the budget. And then right now it's in the legislative part of the process. And
Mm.
we are waiting for the approval and hopefully nga, no, papunta na tayo doon. For example, about 4 billion of school furniture that we are about to procure this year, we didn't do that. So we realigned it to learning materials that we will need
Okay.
for this blended learning.
Okay, so yung mga school chairs, tables, medyo ops, wala mo na niyan. Okay, yung mga
Yeah.
school building, gaano kalaking reduction in the construction of school building? At saka, yung bang mga lupa na yan na tinatayuan ng mga schools natin, yan ba ay DepEd property o property ba yan ng local government?
So both. So hindi ho 100% ay may titulo na nakapangalan sa DepEd.
Oo
At
nga pala, no?
yes,
Nga
it's a big problem.
sakit
At
nga pala ng ulo yan ng lahat ng DepEd
yes,
directors,
yes.
principals, maliban sa being principals, eh sila pa naglalakad na matituluhan yung mga lupa ng DepEd para sa eskwela.
Parang every year we have a budget line item. It's called school titling. At
Aray
every
ko.
year, about 100 million ang nakapondo po sa amin dyan. And that is only titling. It's not even buying the lot. And we do not have a budget to pay for the lot. It's just the titling that we are doing right now. At marami nga dito ay pag-aari ng mga local government units. And hopefully may kausap tayo no na talaga nakakita ng problema, Sir Cito. And they're offering to sponsor a law also na kung matagal na ginagamit yan para sa eskwelahan, then it should really be given to DepEd na.
Sino yung nag-i-sponsor na yan o nag-offer na mag-sponsor? Hindi, kasi kung ang mamagandang loob at tumutulong ng maayos, abay, pasikatin natin. Gawin nating hero, hindi yung hindi
Ano na
stranger.
siya ngayon governor na siya ngayon. So,
Sino?
dati Senator Cheese Escudero. Very
Si
strong
pala,
supporter that. Yeah. So, hopefully matuloy siya. Kasi meron na kami nakitang draft bill talaga na nagsasabi na gano'n o for certain number of years that nakita naman ng community na eskwelahan ang gumagamit, then it should be expropriated to DepEd.
Pumupunta ka pa dun sa probinsya, dito na lang, nasa Pasig ka, nasa Pasig ako. Yung ating magaling na congressman, Roman Romulo, sa kanya natin ipapalo up yan. Tatawagan natin si congressman kasi ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, baka sabihin nyo, Cito, ano na nangyari? You shifted from digital to titling of schools. I just want our people, our viewers, our public to find out, to discover, yung pong mga principals natin, maliban sa sila ang referee sa mga teacher, lola sa mga estudyante, at saka punching bag ng mga magulang at ng media, alam nyo po, sila pa yung naglalakad ng pagtititulo ng mga untitled properties of schools in the provinces, even here in Metro Manila. Lagi ko nang nadidinig yan. And I hope that if we have congressmen, senators who are watching the program, even in Malacanang, I am humbly begging you, please pass a law where it makes this titling automatic, interagency, and free. Bakit? Magkano kanyo, Usec, ang ginagastos natin just for titling every year?
It's ranging from 65 million to 100 million a year. And only 1 to 10% lang yan ng ano natin, ng problema natin.
Ayun, ilang tablet ang mabibili mo sa 65 to 100 million, di ba? And it's all being spent to pay for runners and legal fees, etc. So in any case, okay, balikan natin yung education natin, Usec. So okay, we're discovering that wala pa palang 25% of the ideal budget ang meron tayo ngayon. Nagbigay ng karagdagan for 2021. So presumably things will be better. Hopefully in 5 years we can achieve the target of 24 million tablets. And ilan ang teachers natin, Undersecretary?
Right now, we have 860,000 teachers as of May, but continuing po ang ating hiring. And we are estimating about 900,000 by beginning of next year. It will become 900,000. And then we have 10,000 more new teaching positions. So it's really almost 1 million if we will include all the non-teaching positions as well in the department.
Okay, inaawat na ako ng aking executive producer at meron ka pa raw mahalagang meeting at 9 o'clock. Last question na lang, Usec. Meron kasi normally, pag ang estudyante or mga estudyante nag-away or nagkaroon ng problem, may emotional issue, pinapapunta mo sa guidance counselor.
Yes.
Under the new normal, do we have designated guidance counselor, quote unquote, para sa mga magulang? Because as you started in the program this morning, sinabi mo ang feeling mo magkakaproblema would be the parents, guardians who are now standing in as teachers. Do we have designated guidance counselors or advisors to the parents?
We have existing guidance counselors. We also have an existing mental health program. We strengthened and actually inayos pa natin lalo itong mental health program natin. Not only for the learners, we have to include the teachers, the parents, and the guardians. So ito po yung included ngayon sa ating program. Now, in terms of human resources, dito po kami nagkakaproblema. We still have 3,000 positions vacant. because the qualification for the guidance counselor is very strict, and this is because of a law. May kailangan sila ay license and then may masteral pa. And yet we are offering a salary grade of the entry level. So we are been talking to DBM na i-increase ito para po maka-attract sa ating mga guidance counselors. But the good thing is
okay,
we have a partnership. We have a partnership with our PTA, the Parent Teacher Association, and there's a good best example in Baguio. They established this Parents Academy. At itong PTA na ito is helping us now to also cope itong mga stress, anxiety na nangyayari sa loob ng bahay kasi wala nang sa eskwelahan ngayon yung nakikita natin na anxiety. Yeah.
Okay,
Online system is available or existing for consultation. So, nagbago na rin, Sir Cito.
I-suggest ko lang din kasi lagi kong pinagmamalaki yung aking church group, Every Nation, Victory Christian Fellowship kasi sila nagbibigay ng leadership, mentoring, hindi lang and scholarships, hindi lang sa estudyante, nagbibigay din sila ng ganitong mga tulong with the Philippine National Police, with other government agencies. You could probably tap into the different Ateneo, different schools or religious organizations and NGOs para ma-fill yung 3,000 kasi wala na and I hope ma-waive muna yan for the time being because pandemic naman, we need all the help we can. Thank you very much, Undersecretary Sevilla, and hope to hear from you more.
It's an honor and pleasure, Sir Cito. It's good to see you, and we're doing what we have discussed before. Just an ending, we know that a lot is still yet to come. We anticipate more issues and more concerns, but this is really a new innovation, a best practice that we have done. That's why the Secretary said congratulations to everyone for taking that big step. What we need to do now is to keep the school open, but also safe. And the critical thing for us to do right now is really safety, quality of education still, and equity, because it's really very different. The local government unit has helped us a lot, but it's not the same for the other provinces or localities na wala masyado na local government support. So these are the things: safety, quality, and equity. Maraming salamat, Sir Cito.
Anytime, Usec. And para doon po sa mga viewers natin, kung may madinig kayong medyo bumabatikos, nag-criticize, or have better ideas, well, number one, if you think you can help, then help. Otherwise, keep in mind, we're talking 24 million students, 840,000 plus teachers, and then we are talking 7,000 islands. Binitawan ko na yung 100, 7,000 islands. Abay, subukan yung patakbuhin yan. Tapos, ang nagpapatakbo, ilang taon na si Secretary Briones?
She's turning 80 this October 16.
Aba, I pray to God I will be as strong-willed and physically healthy as she is when I reach 80. Please give our love to Secretary Briones, and I mean love kasi talagang napakadakila ng puso ng ali na yan at napakatigas ng katawan, matibay. Thank you very much, Usec Sevilla.
Maraming salamat. So ulitin, Sir Cito.
Okay, anytime. Ayan po si Undersecretary Annalyn Sevilla ng Department of Education, and it's an interesting interview because I believe many of you got more insights into the workings of the DepEd. Yun po, medyo dihadong-dihado sila. Ideal nila ay 400 billion, sabi niya. Pagkatapos, ang meron lang sila 60 billion. Medyo tagilid ang bangka pagka ganun. Kumbaga sa laro, ewan ko, hindi ako marunong magbara kasi lucky 9 lang ang alam ko. Alam nyo, pag mamaliit ang kapital ng bangka, 24 million, tagilid tayo dyan. But laban! Sabi nga ni Secretary Briones, igagapang namin kayo. Okay, yan po, we'll go for a break, and when we come back, let's talk about Senior Citizens Week here on Agenda. You're back here on Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Signal TV, channels 8 and 250, as well as facebook.com/. One News PH and YouTube One News PH, and we do hope you will share our program with other people, and maraming salamat po do sa mga kababayan nating nanonood sa Amerika via Facebook. I get your messages, Tita Mercy Cordova, and all the other Filipinos out there. Thank you for acknowledging and texting me and letting me know that you get to watch. And doon po sa inyong mga nagme-message, kung minsan hindi ko nasasagot, pagpasensya nyo na po. Alam nyo naman, solo flight ako dito sa bahay, houseboy, kusinero, labandero, laborer, etc. Mamaya nga, mukhang magmamap na naman at magpupunas akong todo-todo dahil napapansin nyo, luha ako ng luha. I'm allergic to dust. Pero weird, allergic lang ako dun sa alikabok sa bahay, pero pag nasa lansangan, hindi ako allergic. Ay, ewan. Okay, let's go to our next guest. He is a senior citizen party list nominee. Medyo pinipinal pa yata o pinag-uusapan pa sa Commission on Election. Pero alamin na natin. Let's find out from our guest, Rodolfo Ompong Ordanes of the Senior Citizen Party List. Sir, magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga po, Boss Tito.
Amo.
Let me call you Boss Tito. Kasi po, meron akong office mate for more than 30 years. Ang tawagan namin ang tawag ko sa kanya Boss Tito. Kaya medyo komportable ko na tatawagin ko kayong Boss Tito.
Naalala ko tuloy yung mga araw ko noon sa Coron, Palawan. In any case,
po siya.
ayun na nga. Okay, matanong ko lang, Sir Ompong, no? Kasi kayo yung humahalili or you are basically seconding or sumusunod kay dating Congressman Francisco Jun Datol
Yes.
of the party list group. And ano na po ba ang situation? Kasi parang medyo may isang buwan na ba na pumanaw si Congressman Datol, normally hindi ba parang automatic yung pagpalit kung pumanaw ang party list representative?
Opo.
Dapat within so many weeks ba o months ba inaabot?
Ang nangyari po kasi riyan, nagkaroon nung eleksyon, before the election, nag-file ang application ng senior citizen, meron isang set of nominees.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before the election, ay nagkaroon kami ng substitution. At ako nga po yung pumalit na second nominee kasi nag-resign po yung yung second nominee po nung unang ipinail nila, nag-resign.
Mm-hmm.
So, ako po yung pumalit doon.
Mm-hmm.
Nung pong natapos, hindi po na-resolve ng COMELEC yung issue ng resignation ng nauna and yung substitution ko.
Mm-hmm.
So, yun po naging problema. Ni-resolve muna yung substitution, then yung resignation, then the substitution. Yun po ay natapos na rin sa COMELEC. Now, ang hinihintay na lang po natin, yung certificate of proclamation ko na ako na yung susunod, yung papalit kay ating yumaong Congressman Datol.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
yun po ang kailangan nating yung signed resolution po ng mga commissioners para ako na po yung pumalit.
Okay, paano yan, Sir Ompong? Kasi alam mo, marami akong nasasagap na balita ngayon at mga kwento sa akin. There are many instances where people cannot go through proceedings because of COVID-19 and because of itong social distancing. Meron nga sumulat sa akin na yung resolution daw ng Court of Appeals, hindi nila magawa, hindi sila magkaroon ng botohan sa kanilang homeowners association dahilan lang kasi dito sa tinamaan ng COVID-19 na ere.
Opo. Yun nga po, yun pa isang dahilan kasi ang end-bank po ng ating ng COMELEC ay via Zoom.
Mhm.
Now, ang signing naman po, yung physical signing naman ng resolution ay pinapadala rin sa bawat isang commissioner through LBC.
Mhm.
So, doon po nagtagal kasi isa-isa silang ipapadala yung pipirmahan, then babalik po sa COMELEC, then papadala na naman sa ibang commissioners. Kaya inabot po ng medyo matagal na konti. Pero
Ayun.
hopefully baka matapos this week yung signing. Umaasa ko na before ni session break ng ng Congress ay makapag-oath na po ako sa plenary.
Okay, wala namang mga challenge kasi 'di ba kumbaga nung bata tayo mayroong ganung laro, 'di ba? Challenge.
Medyo wala naman po ako nakikita, yun nga lang, kung mga COVID tayo ngayon, yun ang
Mhm.
nadi-delay po yung proseso.
Okay. Ngayon, matanong ko lang, Sir Ompong, ano ba ang mga balakin ngayon nitong Senior Citizen Party List? Kasi medyo, siyempre, alam mo, parang on one hand, the first representative died because of COVID-19.
Opo.
And on the other hand, ang realidad marami namang senior citizen na nagsasabing, kailan kami lalaya? Kailan namin ano ba ang mga balakin ng party list? Kasi ng Senior Citizen Week ngayon Ano ba ang
Opo.
mga program and balakin ng partido?
Una-una po, yun nga po, may ipinaglaban ng ating yumaong Congressman Datol, yung pong National Commission of Senior Citizens, na kung saan ang ating mga nakatatandang Pilipino o yung elderly, ang pension po nila ay ang commission po ang hahawak ng pensyon na dating pinamimigay ng DSWD. Yun po yung pinaglaban ni ating nasirang kongresista.
Mhm.
At sa ngayon po, nakapagtalaga naman na ng chairman ng komisyon ang ating Pangulong Duterte. So yun po yung aming bibigyan ng unang na matapos na po yung IRR na kung saan yung implementing rules and regulation, doon po ibabatay yung ating mga benefits, yung matatanggap po ng ating mga nakatatandang Pilipino, yung mga senior citizen. Now, doon po sa nung bago po nitong kasalukuyan ng COVID, nagpasa po ng resolution ng ating butihing kongresista na yung dialysis po. Kasi ang dialysis natin hanggang October na lang at magbabayad na yung mga mahihirap nating dialysis. Nagpasa po ng resolusyon ng ating yumaong kongresista na kung maaari ay libre na lahat hanggang December ang ating dialysis. Now, nang nakausap ko po si Secretary Duque, yan naman po pala ay nakasama rin sa Bayanihan Act na kung saan ang dialysis po ay libre na hanggang sa matapos ang taon. Yun po yung sinabi sa akin ni Secretary Duque. At baka isa po sa aming pinagtutuunan ay yung universal pension na lahat po ng senior citizen ay tatanggap ng pension. Wala na po yung indigent, wala na po yung mga pension na tinatanggap. Yun po yung isa sa plano namin na ituloy. At saka po yung Centenarian Act. Sa Centenarian Act po kasi, pagdating natin ng 100 years, makakakuha ng 100,000.
Oh.
Pero bihira na po yung makakarating dyan sa 100. So meron po siyang nakapending na bill na pagdating po ng 80 years old, makakakuha ng 25,000.
Mhm.
90 years old, another 85 years old, another 25.
Mhm.
90 years old, another 25. At 95 years old, another 25. So, 100 na po yun. Then,
Mhm.
pagdating po ng 100, 100,000 pa rin po yun. So, may bonus po pagdating dun sa 100,000.
Mhm. So,
Yun po yun, no?
universal yon. Basta tumama
Universal
ng
po.
80, 85, kukubra ka ng 25,000.
Opo, yun po yung
Okay.
nakapending na bill.
Meron po ba kayong balakin na consolidate na lang lahat yung mga sinasabing pera para sa mga senior citizen? Kasi ang alam ko, maraming mga local governments nagbibigay ng pera na yan, pero merong ito nga pinagdododaan nga parang
Opo.
nakatanggap ka kasi ako hindi parang gano'n
Opo.
Meron bang balakin ang party list ninyo para suriin din yan? Kasi kung meron yung commission, if the commission will be the
Opo.
sole distributor of pensions for
Opo.
senior citizen, what about on the local government levels? Parang consolidate ba lahat?
Kasi po, iba yung programa ng LGU.
Mhm.
Meron pong mga kamukha po ng Quezon City, Makati. Meron silang ibang programa na binibigay sa ating mga senior citizens.
Mhm.
Kamukha po nung, yun nga, pagdating po nung 100 years, nagbibigay po sila ng 100,000.
Oo.
Bukod po rin sa manggagaling sa national government na
Mhm.
100,000 din. Tapos meron sila mga benepisyo like Quezon City, libre po sa sine, sa Makati, gano'n din.
Mhm.
Merong sa Makati, may libre pang mga cake pag may birthday. May kanya-kanya rin pong mga programa ang mga local government.
Pero kailan po natin makikita na mas it would be more of kasi parang ito ikaw ay senior citizen, ako ay senior citizen.
Opo.
I believe that as we get older, we become more sensitive and medyo pinapahalagahan natin yung ating dignidad.
Opo.
Kailan tayo aabot sa punto where the care and state support for senior citizens is a real policy and not a dole out? Kasi ang dami kong mga nakikilalang mga senior citizen na sabi, Cito, mabuti ka pang bata ka, may kaya ka pang maghanap buhay. Marami sa amin, umaasa
Opo.
na lang sa 2,000, 3,000 sa SSS, kapos na kapos. Tapos yung sa LGU, parang utang na loob pa namin na maabutan kami.
Saka,
Paano ho?
yan po ay pag upo-upo ko, bibigyan ko ng pansin yung sinasabi niyo, Boss Tito. Kasi sa ngayon, hindi puro plano pa lang po yung sa akin. Hindi
Of
pa nga po
course.
ako nakakapag-oath.
Mhm.
Sinasabi ko naman sa ating mga matatanda, magbigay kayo sa akin ng mga suggestions, pag-aaralan natin at saka natin isang batas. Para
Mhm.
po ang lahat ng kapakinabangan nating mga nakatatanda ay ating malasap sa gobyerno. Yun
At
po yung
saka
aking
gamitin din ninyo yung pagkalolo at lolo ng mga senior citizen
Opo.
para pag hindi binigay ng mga ibang congressman yung mga balakin ng senior citizen party list, tanggalin sila sa pamana.
Yun po.
Yun lang ang laban ng mga lolo at lola. Gusto mo
Oo nga po.
tanggalin kita sa pamana. In any
Kaya
case, go
kaya nga
ahead.
po pagdating nga sa 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 pag-upo ko po ay magpapasa ako ng batas na free vaccination sa lahat po ng senior citizen. Para
Mhm.
po maiwasan natin yung mga, alam niyo naman, ang pneumonia ay pangatlo yatang nakamamatay ngayong panahon natin. Saka yun
Mhm.
nga pong dialysis, na gagawan din ako ng batas na sana malibre na yung ating mga senior citizen. Kasi
Magandang
napaka
magandang balakin yan na Boss Ompong, kasi alam mo matagal ko nang talagang iniinda yan eh. Yung hindi wala akong sakit ano, pero
Opo.
iniinda ko kada malaman ko yung mga taong nangailangan ng dialysis. Parang siguro pag nakatungtong ka na sa Kongreso, paimbestiga nga natin yan. Bakit sobrang daming Pilipino ang nangangailangan ng dialysis? Bakit sobrang daming Pilipino ang may mga kidney problem, renal problem? Kasi laging dialysis yung napapag-usapan, pero hindi na-aksyonan yung pinag-uugatan nitong problema na ito.
Yun nga
Ikaw, pag
po.
congressman ka na, ako wala akong balak tumungtong dyan sa kongreso. At naku, basag ulo, abutin ko dyan. In any case, any other concerns or statements, Boss Ompong?
Ah, pinaabot ko lang po sa ating mga senior citizens na yung magtiis-tiis na po tayo na hindi tayo nakakalabas. Kasi po, vulnerable tayo dito sa sakit na to. At yan naman ay ginagawa ng ating pamahalaan dahil para rin sa ating kalusugan. Alam niyo naman, mas marami ang pag tinamaan ng COVID sa mga nakatatanda, mas malamang hindi makaligtas dahil nga mahina na po ang ating immune system. Kaya wag po tayong magdamdam sa pamahalaan kung hindi tayo pinalalabas dahil para rin po sa ating kalusugan yan. At sa
Okay.
aking pong mga katatanda at ipinapangako ko po sa inyo, nagagawin ko ang lahat para lahat ng matanda ay mapagtuunan ng pansin ng ating pamahalaan. Yun lang po.
Okay, yan po. Maganda po yung bilin ninyo, Sir Rodolfo Ompong Ordanes, kasi kamakailan, meron po akong kuya-kuyahan, kumbaga tito na 78 years old, nako, malusog, masigasig, makulit, malikot, labas ng labas. Tinamaan ng COVID-19, nakuha pa niya dun sa driver niya. Awa ng Diyos, medyo nakaraos naman siya, hindi siya na-hospital, nagamot siya. Nung tinawagan ko at kinamusta ko, nagkukula raw siya. Sabi ko, ano? Milyonaryo ka, nagkukula ka? Hindi, kinukula ko yung sarili ko, nagpapaaraw ako para dumami ang vitamin D ko. Okay, thank you.
Tama po
Okay.
yan.
Thank you, Sir Ompong. Have a good day and advance congratulations na lang pagka na-confirm ka na at na-deklara ka na.
Opo. Maraming salamat, Boss Cito,
Okay.
sa pagbibigay sa akin ng oras, pagkakataon na
Okay.
makadaong pagpalad ko kayo. Salamat po.
Okay, maraming salamat Sir Ompong. At yung pong suot-suot ni Sir Ompong, hindi po yung stampita. For those of you who have never heard that word, back in the days, the elderly would wear a Catholic card. It's a small card of a patron saint, and they would put it in plastic pouches and put it around their neck or inside their shirts. Yung suot po ni Sir Ompong, yun yata yung ionizer na sinulat ko sa column ko na anting-anting daw nung iba sa COVID. Medyo, I hope it helps the quality of air you breathe. Pero yung pong mga ganyan, nako, mas mabuti po yung tayo ay nag-iingat, stay at home if you can, drink all. Sabi nga ni Gab Malyar, yung aming executive producer, Sir, palakasin mo lang immune system mo. Sabi ko, sa dami ng iniinom kong vitamina at saka nutritional, pati na yung mga binibigay ng mga kaibigan ko who I will share in the future shows, malapit na akong maging mighty Thor. Okay. Toron, mighty Toron. Puro na lang ako Toron. Okay, we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, pag-usapan nga natin, ayan, nabanggit ko na yung Toron, yung mga bata ko, sinasabi, Sir, masyado yata ang kain mo ng Toron. Sabi ko, potassium. Oo nga, Sir, pinirito naman at puro mantika. We'll go for a quick break and discuss all of that Dahil yung iba daw sa inyo, obese na. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Signal TV channels 8 and 250, as well as facebook.com/OneNewsPH and YouTube OneNewsPH. Okay, we are going to talk to a nutritionist fitness, I suppose, coach, if you would call that. But before we do that, I just want to give our viewers a background regarding the state of obesity or yung katabaan, estado ng katabaan ng mga Pilipino. 2 in every 5 adult Filipinos, or 37.2%, are overweight and obese, based on the 8th National Nutrition Survey of the Food and Nutrition Research Institute of the Department of Science and Technology. Obesity is a major risk factor for non-communicable diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and certain types of cancer. Inuulit ko po, no? Yung katabaan o yung pagiging mataba ay risk factor yan para magkaroon ka ng diabetes or connected dyan, at saka yung mga sakit sa puso. Ito po ang problema, pati na yung cancer. Ang problema po ngayon, in many major outbreaks, particularly in the United States, doon sa New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken, when they studied the population of COVID-19 cases, particularly those who died, they noticed, or well, they observed that majority of them were obese. So ngayon, sinasabi na kung ikaw ay mataba, malamang at malamang magkakaroon ka ng mga iba-ibang sakit, comorbidity, at malamang pag tinamaan ka ng COVID-19, mas mataas ang porsyentong tigok ka o tepo ka. Yung mabuhay ka man, hirap na hirap ka kasi alam niyo po, yung katabaan, it presses on the internal organs, lalo na pati sa baga, sa atay, etc. Okay, nearly half of Filipinos remain physically inactive and almost a third are considered overweight and smoke cigarettes, according to the latest health survey from Manulife Philippines. Manulife Philippines reported that since the COVID-19 pandemic, Filipinos have recognized the importance of prevention through different health activities, with 3 out of 5 formed health-related habits they intend to keep in 18 months. Okay, let's interview Beatrix Mercado. She is a registered nutritionist-dietitian and founder of Project Fit Philippines. Beatrix, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Okay,
hello po.
Okay, kamusta naman yung mga observations nyo? Kasi ikaw, slim na slim ka. Pero yung mga kaibigan mo ba, kamag-anak mo, puro nakalimutan sa kusina?
May mga iba po. Ayun, may mga iba po talaga.
Okay.
Medyo naglakihan na.
Okay, kaganda ng pagkasabi mo, no? Naglakihan. Pero palapad yung laki mo, hindi laking pataas. In any case, Beatrix, okay. Can you tell us a little about the state of affairs? Kasi sabi nung study na binasa ko, 37.2% ng mga Pilipino ay nagiging obese na. And naobserbahan ko na yan even before COVID, many Filipino children have become overweight, very overweight. Dati cute dahil mataba, ngayon hindi na mataba eh. Ngayon pwede mo lang pagulungin sa kalsada eh.
Opo. Nangyayari po kasi yun since, halimbawa, sa bata, ang nagiging habits kasi ng tsaka ng anak is that more on mobile phones, yun yung form of entertainment versus nung 90s tayo, nung tayo mga bata, nung kabataan natin, more on outside activities. Even sa school, mas maraming outside activities. But then, ayun nga, in this generation ng mga kids, ang ginagawa na nila are more on iPads, more on games, virtual games, yun yung form of entertainment nila. And ang masama dito kasi, ang downside nito is that it's entertaining for a while, lalo na sa mga bata. But ang nangyayari is that if it progresses in the long run, magiging siyang habitual and at the same time addictive. Kasi normally sa mga bata, mas naa-addict sila as over time eh. So ang mangyayari pagtanda, madadali talaga nila yung paglalaro, pagmo-mobile, yung mobile phone addiction. So, yun talaga yung malaking factor in such a way na kahit i-encourage mo yung bata na, ay, kunyari, ang laki na ng anak ko, so kailangan ko na silang palabasin, paglaruin, it's somehow too late. Since
Mhm.
it's really important na habang bata pa, i-establish na yung outdoor activities or halimbawa indoor activities since bawal lumabas. Yun, outdoor activities like yung mga kahit yung mga simple games or mga mag-jump kayo, just play with the kids. Ayun, it's
Mhm.
really important. Tapos, really, leisure time. Eh, mobile tayo, hindi naman tayo more on interactive eh. Talagang kahit matatanda, nakatutok na lang din sa mobile. Hindi lang siya sa bata, pati sa matatanda. It's also addictive na rin. So,
Mhm.
nakaupo lang talaga. So, pag nakaupo ka lang, lesser physical activities, tapos ang tendency mo pa habang nanonood ka or nag-games ka, so, added calories na yun sa katawan mo, and at the same time, hindi ka pa gumagalaw, talagang mapapansin mo, little by little, mag-i-increase yung weight mo. Because when it comes to increasing weight, hindi siya overnight eh. Ayun, talagang progressive. Ulat ka na lang, parang obese ka na pala talaga. Ayun.
Mhm. Okay, what is
Yun po. So, yun yung
okay,
isang factor.
sabi mo Beatrix, okay, hindi lumalabas, lack of mobility, lack of physical activity. Yan ang reality natin under COVID-19, especially for young adults 20 and below dahil bawal
Mhm.
silang lumabas. Tapos yung school nila, online pa rin, di lalo nang nagka-problema.
Mhm.
And you were saying na
Yes.
kahit na mag-jump rope lang sila o kaya magpatentero sila sa loob ng bahay, kung alam pa nila kung ano yung patentero, kung hindi nyo alam patentero, hindi kayo Pilipino. Okay? In any case, matanong ko lang, but how about food intake? Kasi maraming nagsasabi, ang sinisisi, they blame, the number one blame goes to the refrigerator. Sabi ng mga kakilala ko,
Mhm.
Kuyang, ang problema yung food intake. How big a factor is
Oh.
food regarding obesity?
Mhm. Aha. Okay, so malaki talagang choice ang food intake. Ang tanong, kung halimbawa aware naman talaga tayo na malaking factor 'yun, ang tanong is that ano yung binibili natin sa ayun. Bali ang choice natin talaga is yung mga, ready to eat, yung mga let's say kunyari mga noodles, mga chips, but same time, alam naman nating masama yun, alam naman natin it really causes obesity. So,
Mhm.
important that we should be wiser. Kailangan talaga mas alam natin yung mas tamang kainin. And alam naman natin mga Pinoy, maganda talaga ang gulay at prutas at sa mga groceries available na siya. And even during this pandemic, mas ng mga kung saan sa bawat kanto halos may mga
Mhm.
nagbebenta na ng gulay, prutas. So mas nagiging accessible din talaga. Ang tanong na lang is nasa sa atin din, ano ba talagang bibilhin natin? Ayun, kasi pag sa store ng gulay or prutas, ano siya eh, pwede din siyang i-ref to prolong it at
Mhm.
pwede din siyang i-freeze. Pwede din siyang i-freeze. Kung ang tanong natin, mabilis namang mabulok yan eh, tas ayaw ko laging lumabas. Ang choice natin is halimbawa, pag sa mga carrots, ayun, pwede natin siyang gawing frozen. Carrots, pipino, saging, ayun. Doon natin sila
Mhm.
pwedeng i-freeze. Para yun yung sa susunod, kakainin na rin natin. Ayun.
Yung
Kesa naman ang pipiliin natin ay Lucky Me. Kasi ano siya eh, ang nangyayari kasi, parang hindi lang siya about sa food choices, pero ang gusto talaga natin is more on convenience. Yung mga easily convenient na food na parang iinit mo lang, lulutuin mo lang
Mhm.
ng onting prito lang, luto na. Ayun, it's really more than about knowing kung ano yung gustong kainin, but more on convenient sa atin. Parang it's over healthy foods eh. Yun yung
Mhm.
kailangan matutunan pa natin lalo kung saan talagang pipiliin natin yung mas maganda para sa ating katawan kesa naman huli na yung lahat yun. Kasi hindi natin alaman, hindi gaano kahirap magkasakit unless meron tayo at ayaw naman nating maranasan yun. Ayun,
Okay.
kaya
What
habang
what
maaga
about
pa.
What
Kailangan
about
talaga more on gulay na tsaka prutas.
Okay, Beatrix, what about fasting? Kasi ako, sinasabi ko sa mga viewers natin, mga kaibigan ko, na I lost 20 pounds doing intermittent fasting. Nagtataka nga ako bakit nag-work sa akin dahil ang ginagawa ko, kakain ako ng alas 6 o alas 6:30 ng gabi, and then I don't eat anything until 9:30 or 10 after the show. And somehow I lost 20 pounds in like 3 months. Pero ito ba umubra lang para sa akin, or does fasting really work for people who don't like exercise or can't exercise?
Okay, well, intermittent fasting, ano siya, parang ang maganda kasi is that pwede ka mag-intermittent fasting as diet plans, wala naman kami good as long as kinakain mo. Kasi intermittent fasting ka, pero at the end, puro pa rin mga taba-taba.
Okay.
Oo, pwede kang mag-lose weight, pero isang consequence naman yung heart or pwedeng affected din yung sugar levels mo. Kasi at the end, hindi na lang dapat hahabol sa weight mo eh. Kailangan hahabol ka rin kung ano talaga yung healthy para sa puso mo, healthy para sa sugar levels mo rin. Ayun, yun talaga yung yun talaga yung parang message din or core din ng intermittent fasting. It's not weight loss, but also about smarter food choices. Ayun.
Okay. And
Yung exercise, it's really good din.
Okay, what about yung mga nauso, di ba? Before COVID, usong-uso yung mga keto diet, yung mga
Oh my God, okay.
Oh, sige.
Ayun. Diet. It's na keto. Parang genic diet ang result kasi instant payat talaga. But hindi natin nakikita yung consequence eh. Kasi when it comes sa keto diet, may consequence din yan. Too much or excessive fat. Parang pumayat ka, pero ang dapat nating tingnan is yung blood cholesterol levels mo. Pwede din siyang mag-i-increase talaga. Parang sayang na sexy ka, pero ang taas naman ng blood cholesterol mo. Pero pero hindi natin nare-realize na there is a way, which is yun nga, healthier diet choices. Choice of foods din talaga yung nagmamatter eh. Ayun, hindi natin nare-realize yun na pwede din pala talaga tayong pumayat at the same time, ma-normalize yung blood cholesterol levels. So yun yung also very, very important. It's not just about, kasi ang keto kasi gusto nila instant weight loss eh. Pero dun sa pagiging instant na yon, ayun, may consequence din kung saan, yun nga, pwede ka nang mag-hypertension. Sayang. Ayun, also, ang other consequence ng keto diet is that pag tinigil mo siya, mas doble pa yung laki mo in the long run. Ayun, kaya kailangan hanggang pagtanda mo tuloy-tuloy yung keto. Ang tanong is that kaya mo talaga siyang i-maintain? And what if titigil mo yung keto, taas na ng cholesterol mo, mag-gain ka talaga uli ng weight. So, parang we really encourage healthier food choices. Healthier food choices.
Okay. Well, Beatrix, thank you very much for your inputs. At least medyo kalma ako. Hindi naman pala delikado itong intermittent fasting. Pero yung keto, hindi ko talaga gagawin yung keto na yan. Medyo, I love meat too much, pero not that much. Okay. In any case, thank you very much for your time, Beatrix, and more power to you. And please stay in touch. Kung may mga new developments, let us know.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, that's Beatrix Mercado, registered nutritionist, dietitian. And yun po yung pinopoint out ni Beatrix. No? Medyo reality natin. We can, if you're a senior citizen or 20 years old and below, chances are you're confined to quarters, ika nga. It's for our benefit. It's for our protection. Now, if you're a student, you're confined to quarters also. So therefore, medyo ang schooling mo online din. So nalimitahan, supposedly. Pero alam niyo po, it's all in the mind eh. Kasi sabi ko nga, pwede kayong magpatentero. Hindi naman ninyo kailangan ng official table, pero kung meron kayong plywood, patong nyo dun sa ilang gamit, magpingpong kayo sa bahay. Magpatentero, mag-skip rope, jumping rope, or kung gusto naman ninyong may saysay, maglinis kayo ng bahay. Mag-map kayo, magpunas. Ako, walang biro po, no? Mamaya, mag-map, magpupunas ako ng 2 kwarto. Sigurado, para akong nag-zumba niyan. Tapos ginagawa ko pa, I listen to podcasts of preachers, pastors, and leadership podcasts para naglilinis ka na, nagtatrabaho ka na, pinapawisan ka na, may natututo ka pa. Kasi alam nyo po, pag dinaan natin lahat sa excuse or justification, ayun na nga ang mangyari. Right now, it's 37.2 of the Filipino population are overweight, according to this study. At yung gumawa po ng study, Food and Nutrition Research Institute of the Department of Science and Technology, hindi ito pa-survey. Ito talagang mga study at saka di nyo naman kailangan lumayo Panoorin nyo sa TV, yung mga lumalabas sa TV. Makikita ninyo, yung dati mga magagandang sexy o fit na fit. Nako, ngayon medyo seamless na. Seamless na yung katawan. Wala na sabit. Bilugan na. Sorry, wag po kayo magalit, no? I'm just trying to encourage you. Kasi katulad nga, no, sabi ni Beatrix, magkikito diet ka. Okay, ganda ng katawan mo. Pero yun namang mga tubo-tubo mo, barado, baka matepo ka nang wala sa oras. No? So in any case, I just want to encourage our friends out there. You may be confined to quarters, but it doesn't mean that your activities are limited. You can clean the house, you can do renovation, you can do gardening in your house, etc. There are many things you can do at home where you can actually, and what are the benefits? You sweat, you exert physically, and at the same time, because you are exercising, you stabilize your mind. Marami po ngayon parang upo na lang, tapos maya-maya mo, mapapansin mo yung upong ganito, biglang nakasandal na, biglang maya-maya, nakaganon na, tulog na. Naku po, matutuluyan tayo ng madali niyan. Mabuti pa ay magtrabaho tayo, bawasan. Tsaka please, por 10%, parang awa nyo na. Bawasan naman ninyo yung bigas ninyo, yung kanin ninyo. Kasi ang dami sa inyo, ginagawang stretcher. Pang-stretch ng tiyan, yung kanin para masabing busog. In any case, I think that's all we have for today. I just want to encourage all of you out there. Alam niyo po, as I was reading from the book of Joel this morning, hindi po kaibigan ko si Joel pagpantay, no? Or Joel. In any case, this is the book of Joel from the Bible. And medyo seryoso yung libro. Very few pages lang po. Baka 4 pages lang. Depende sa version ng Bible nyo. Kasi sa akin, large print Pero alam nyo, doon lumalabas, they went through an epidemic as we are. Sa kanila, the epidemic of the locust. Yung para may mga tipaklong na milyon-milyon ang dumagsa sa bayan nila. Inubos lahat talaga, anything that was green, leafy, anything that was vegetable related, ubos talagang, pati puno raw, pati raw yung balat ng puno, nginat-ngat na nung mga tipaklong na yon. And they were suffering, etc. And ito po yung, this is a key point that I picked up. It said, the offerings unto the Lord were withheld. Kumbaga, sa panahon ng taghirap, yung mga tao, tinipid ang Diyos. Hindi na sila nag-alay. They did not give their tithes or their offerings to God. And I guess the point was, even under such extreme or severe circumstance, make sure that you give your offerings to God, your prayers to God, and your recognition of God. Remember the story of the parable that Jesus Christ said, the lady with the 2 copper coins or 2 mites ba ang tawag nila, na yun na lang, the last money na niya, binigay pa niya. Okay? And she was recognized and for eternity by Jesus in the Bible. So I just want to leave you with that. In the most difficult of times, okay, in the hardest of times, let's not forget to go to God, to pray to God, and to give to God. Because when we give to God, He gives back 100-fold. I hope you have a good day ahead of you. God bless all of you. I'm Cito Beltran, and that's today's agenda.
We'll get back to you po in 15 minutes. Stay on this